Freedom Caucus representative and a candidate for Speaker of the House himself. Jim Jordan of Ohio is with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Sean. Good to be with you.
I understand you're zigzagging the country on behalf of candidates. How's it looking for you?
It's good. I mean, I think we're going to be fine. But yeah, we're heading out to Idaho here in a couple of days, and we were in South Carolina last Friday, so we're all over the place.
You know, it's interesting to watch the states like California. Southern California has 6 important House seats that could tip the balance of power in the House. Minnesota has important races. Ohio does. Michigan does. Yep. Pennsylvania and New York and New Jersey do.
Yeah. No, I think in the end, though, Sean, when you look at the radical positions the left has taken, I would argue the most extreme positions in American history, where they applaud Kaepernick when he disrespects the flag. They cheer on Governor Cuomo when he said America was never that great. And they embraced Maxine Waters when she says go out and harass anybody who supports our president. Contrast that vision for where they want to take the country, as we've talked about before, with what the president has accomplished in 21 months, with his leadership in this country, taxes, regulations down, economy growing at 4.2%, lowest unemployment 40 years, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the court, out of the Iran deal, embassy in Jerusalem, and on we could go. So those are the competing visions. That's the contrast. I think when Americans step back and look, they're going to pick Republicans, and we're going to keep the majority in the House.
Between no due process for Kavanaugh, no presumption of innocence for Kavanaugh, these are core values that have served us well as a country. And then you got this lawless caravan, and I don't hear a single Democrat saying we've got to stop it looks like an invasion. 14,000 people just want to run across the border, maybe more. And if that happens, what's going to happen after that? It's like a party that has basically given up on the rule of law and Constitution and the values that have served us so well over these many years.
Exactly right. The most extreme positions ever. You got Holder with his comments. You got former Secretary Clinton saying, oh, yeah, we'll get civil again once we have power. That's not how it's supposed to be in this great nation. And like you said before, it's sort of tough to avoid the immigration issue when you got this caravan marching north, thousands and thousands of people. I think the president's right when he's talking about you're not going to get your foreign aid if this is going to continue, and talking about putting folks on the border, putting troops on the border, putting National Guard on the border to make sure this doesn't happen.
We saw what happened last Friday in Mexico at their border, and then the fence was busted and people come running across. Now, it's almost like we're headed towards a major human confrontation here. People that don't respect our laws and sovereignty, and a president that is saying you must respect our laws and sovereignty. I think Democrats are like in the back of their heads hoping this happens. So maybe something bad will happen and Trump will look bad and we can blame him if someone gets hurt.
Yeah, you never know. I hope
not. I pray not.
Yeah, same here. But I will tell you what, on Saturday I had a person from Honduras who came here legally. And when that lady came in, this is at a Republican event Saturday morning in our hometown in Urbana, Ohio. She came up to me and she said, I am sick of this kind of stuff. She did it the right way. She came here legally, came here because she loves this great nation, wanted to chase down her goals and dreams in this great nation. That's the part that upsets me the most when you see this kind of thing happen and the possible political implications and motivations behind these things. That's what bothers me the most. And I think, again, common sense Americans say, look, this is not how it's supposed to work. You want to come to this country and you're a legitimate asylum seeker, that's one thing. But when 80% of the people who show up at our border claiming asylum aren't legitimate asylum seekers, that's a problem. And we know that's probably what this group is mostly about as well.
We also have this issue of the mob that no Democrat seems willing to confront either. I mean, we saw we watched Ted Cruz and his wife get chased out of a restaurant by an angry left-wing mob. We watched it happen to Pam Bondi at a movie theater. We watched it happen to Secretary Nielsen. We watched it happen to Sarah Sanders. We saw Mitch McConnell go through this at the airport. And then this weekend it happened again. Let me play a little of the McConnell confrontation. And then you have the liberal media, literally. And then we have now Henry Kissinger was shouted down. Listen to some of this.
Why don't you get out of here? Why don't you leave our
I'm going to show at the TMZ. He threw their leftovers at them? I didn't know that.
Henry Kissinger, on behalf of the International Criminal Court, you are a war criminal. You have committed genocide against the peoples of the world. You're as bad as the Nazis. You don't belong here.
People today, people now, live with the results of what you've done. You deserve to go to jail and then rot in hell.
Like a 92-year-old man who served his country. It's, it's unbelievable. What this, Nancy, what's her name? Maxine Waters. You create a crowd. You confront them. You tell them they're not wanted anywhere anymore. Mitch McConnell, leave the country. Then we have, Eric Holder, kick him. Hillary, you can't be civil with somebody you disagree with.
No, this is as wrong as it gets. This is not how any decent people are supposed to behave. And it is, what the part that bothers me the most, Sean, is Dennis Kucinich is a good friend of mine, and he is as far left as I am.
No, he's actually a lovely guy.
He's a wonderful guy. He's a friend, and he would never act. He will debate the ideas. He'll show up and have a robust debate like we're supposed to in this great nation. But he would never. This is the new left. This is the new left. Dennis Kucinich is the way liberal and people who believe in their positions and their ideas and their policy. That's the way it's supposed to be. But what is happening now is so dangerous for this country and so wrong, and just not the way people in this great nation operate.
How does the president, and this would be my goal, the president obviously is going to pull back aid to some of these countries that are allowing this caravan to move forward. Nobody wants anyone to get hurt at the border. These, I would assume the vast majority are innocent people, but, we don't know anybody. I mean, you could have people that mix in with the crowd that want to bring harm to our country, but I would assume most people come here because they want a better life. Right. So if they're hell-bent on disobeying our laws and our sovereignty, and the president then has to protect our borders, how do we do it in the way that is safest for the people that are there? Because I don't want to see people getting hurt at the border. You don't want to see people. The president doesn't want to see that. But on the other hand, you can't allow them to come in either.
No, right. And this is why we've had legislation that's been introduced. The Democrats won't support it because I think deep down they want the politics of this issue. They don't want to solve the problem. We need more judges on the border. We need more ability to, when people get there, to hold them, not this catch and release policy, hold them, have their case adjudicated so we can find out, are they legitimate? Are they really fleeing something? Or are they coming here to do harm? Are they part of some gang? What's their background? I mean, it takes some time to do that, and it takes resources and it takes people. But if the Democrats won't allow us to pass the legislation that would put all that in place so we can get answers quickly, or much more in a much more quicker manner than we do today, that's the problem. So quit playing politics. Let's solve problems, and let's do it in a way that's consistent with the rule of law.
All right, we'll talk more about the election. Jim Jordan is with us from Ohio. He'd like to be the next Speaker of the House also. We'll get to that. All right, as we continue, Jim Jordan is with us. Congressman Ohio wants to be Speaker. Why are you so confident that the Republicans hold the House? I have a lot more confidence in the Senate. I just can't get a pulse on how motivated people are in the districts, the 70 districts that matter, where the balance of power. Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio, where you are, California of all places, Minnesota of all places. Those congressional races seem to be where the power balance will be tipped.
Yeah. I think a couple of things. Sorry. One, I think Americans have common sense. They don't want to go with the radical vision the left is offering. I think, second, we have good candidates. Take Chicago, Peter Roskim's district, for example, Sean. Here's a guy, Peter Roskim, who won in 2006, the year we actually lost the House. He beat Tammy Duckworth, a now U.S. Senator from the state of Illinois. He beat her in that election. Peter Roskim knows how to win. So we have good candidates across the country who I think know how to win in these tough climates. But again, I think when you look at where the left wants to take this country, I think most people with common sense are going to say, I didn't sign up for that. I'm going to keep Republicans in control and the great economic gains that we've seen under the leadership of the president.
Do you think the Kavanaugh hearings, the caravan, the mobs, coupled with the president's success, is there a base out there that we're not hearing from that the polls aren't picking up yet?
I think that's very likely. I mean, we haven't necessarily seen it. We haven't really polled, but when anecdotally you're out talking with folks, you sense that, you feel that people are in fact moving in that direction and were outraged by what they saw happen to Judge Kavanaugh.
And what are your House members, Freedom Caucus guys? How's Dave Bratt doing? And we're going to actually talk to Scott Perry at the bottom of this half hour. How are those guys doing? Because they're in tough races.
They're doing great. But I'll give you the best examples. Rod Blum, he was down like 10, 12 points 3 weeks ago. He's now got it within 1 point. That's what's happening because our guys are working hard, good candidates working hard, and the American people are waking up to the ridiculous positions that the left wants to take this country to.
All right, Jim Jordan, thanks for being with us.